Hello, folks. Your old buddy Gerald here. Just want to come in here to y'all for a few minutes and talk to y'all about what to look for when buying guitar amps and speakers, and talk about ohms and watts and all that fun stuff. First off, an ohm. Now, I know this is going to be Greek to some of y'all, but an ohm. What is an ohm? It is a measurement of resistance. Basically, if you look at the back of a head, Marshall head, we're going to go with Marshall. We're going to use Marshall head and 412 cabinets, that's got the Celestians in it with the greenbacks. Y'all know. Those of you that have been around. So I've got this head. Basically, it's what you're going to hook the speakers up to, is the head. Okay. Now, on the back of the head, it's going to say a couple things. It's going to say this, like, our ohms rating. It's going to say 4 ohm, let's say 4 ohm minimum. Now, what the crap does that mean, 4 ohm minimum? Well, we have to go to the cabinets, which is, the box with, it's got those beautiful, lovely Celestians in them. And on the back of the speaker, on the back of the cabinet, it's going to say, let's say for this example, 8 ohm minimum. And they're going to say 8 ohms. Okay, so I've got a pair of those. I got 2 8 ohm cabinets here. So what does that mean? So what does the 4 ohm mean on my guitar amp, on the Marshall head? Well, when we connect both of those speakers to that head, that is your 4 ohm minimum. Basically what that means is it's going to draw power off of both of those speakers. It's going to run both of those speakers the power, and that's going to drop that ohmage down to 4 ohms. And you don't plug any more up to it, otherwise you're going to blow mains and somebody's going to be very mad at you, unless it's your own stuff. But look, in doing this for for years and years, 35 years, I have never blew up a guitar amp. I've never burned up any of my stuff. Okay? But anyway, so 4 ohm minimum is the lowest that you can go. Now, if you take those same speakers and it says 16 ohm, my light's acting screwy, so I'm going to have to get Fitz to fix it. So, so now let's say another worst case scenario that on the back of the cabinet, it says 16 ohms. Well, that's a much bigger number. So basically, if I take 2 16 ohm cabinets, those same cabinets are 16 ohms now, and I hook them to that head, it's going to be 8 ohms. Well, remember the head said 4 ohm minimum. So basically, instead of 2 speakers, now I can hook 4 16 ohm speakers in it, because they're drawn off of each other. If you just had 1 speaker, it would be 100% loudness coming out of that speaker. And if you had 2, then it's going to be 50% coming out of there. It's going to be 50% loud out of each speaker, because you're having to compensate. You're trying to push more power. And if you have 2 more cabinets, and now you're going to have 25% of volume coming out of each speaker. So you've got 1/4 volume coming out of each speaker to make up for that 100% out of just one. I hope this makes sense to y'all. This is the easiest way that I can explain it to you to make y'all understand this. Okay, so just pay attention when you're messing around with ohms, and look at the back of that head. Look what the back of that head says. Because if you go, like I said, or it could be 8 ohm minimum or whatever, just be smart about your stuff. Okay. Let's see. So now, also, let's keep that amp, that head. On the back of it, it'll also probably say, 1,000 watts. Okay, here I've got a Marshall head. It's 1,000 watts, whatever. Now, it doesn't matter if you're buying guitar amps, acoustic amps, whatever, any kind of guitar amp. when you see the number on it, it says 1,000, 1,500. We need to find what we call the RMS rating. That is the exact wattage of that guitar amp. So it's just advertising, it's just marketing is all that is. On the musician's friend, the whatever, it's going to say 1,000 watts. And well, it's a pretty good deal. You know, here it is, a 12-inch, 12-inch Fender bass amp. It's 1,000 watts or whatever. That's not entirely true. So how do we find what we call the RMS rating? Well, when you see that big number, it says 1,000 watts, whatever it is. That is called peak power. Okay, now that really would do that about once. Okay, but mostly it's for marketing. Because, most people don't know how to find the RMS rating when it comes to their guitar amps. Because, and I'll show you all that because I've been doing this for many years. This is what I do. Now, so we take that 1,000 watts, whatever number it may be, and we're going to divide that by 2. So we're going to half that 1,000 watts, and now we're at 500 watts. That is program power. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. It's just there, just to be there. Program power has nothing to do with programming or anything. It's just a number. Now we're going to take that 500 that we got from so we took half away from 1,000. Now we're going to take half away from 500. That's going to put that down at 250 watts. That is your RMS rating. That is the exact wattage that guitar amp, whatever that is your exact wattage. Okay, so it's real easy. You just take that 1,000 and divide it by 4. And then you'll have 250 watts. That is your RMS rating. Okay? Even if it says, it's 5,000 watts. Well, okay, so remember 5,000 would take that, we'll divide that by 2. That's 2,500. That's program power. It's absolutely meaningless. And so we're going to take the 2,500, divide that by 2. That's 1,250. Okay? So there you go. So there is how we find the RMS rating. Just take that number, that big number, and divide it by 4. And there you go. Even if it's 500 watts, well, half of 500 is 250, and then you divide that, and that's 125 RMS. That's what you're looking for. Now, buying speakers, we're going to be looking for, basically the biggest thing is the decibel, how loud the speaker is. Okay, and now does size matter with speakers? Yes and no. It just depends. No, I don't need any. I go to the bathroom just fine. Anyway. Everybody, I don't know if it's a musician thing, but everybody thinks they have to have 15-inch, 18-inch speakers, and I'm telling you all, it is not the case. You do not need a 15-inch speaker to do out there, especially for you bass guys. For those of you that play bass guitar, you don't need a 15-inch big thumping bass. You don't need that because, first off, it's going to sound muddy. Okay? And that sound from that 15-inch Fender amp, combo amp, whatever, that sound is only going to travel about 1.5 inches. So it's going to be very hard. It's going to be muddy. It's not going to sound good. It's going to sound like mud. Now, if you have like a Harkey Kickback 12 or even a 10-inch bass amp, they will kick royal booty because it'll throw that sound much further out there. It'll throw it way out there. It'll project much more clear, and the sound, it will be more tighter. It's going to be much tighter. It's not going to be, where you're going to miss it. Especially doing it in a gymnasium. If you take a big 15-inch Fender amp into a gym, you're asking for it. It's going to sound like garbage because I've experienced it. Okay. It just does not sound good. But if you have like a 10 or a 12-inch, the hard key kickback 12, it's an amazing amp. Awesome. Even there's people with 10-inch guitar amps, bass amps that kick royal booty. You could have two 12s. Once again, going back to the 12 cabinets, the Boss, the Katana, you could have a bass amp with two 12s. You're going to kick royal booty. And it also helps if you have the closed back, because the sound doesn't escape from the back and you're going to lose it. I like my guitar amps with the closed back or whatever. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, when it comes to guitar amps and PA heads and sound systems, mixers, for me, it's 100% solid state. I don't like tube amps. This is not 1960, okay? This is 2025. I know in the 60s and 70s, for years we had tube amps, which is whatever. You have to turn them on, let them warm up and all that crap. It was nice. But solid state amps are my thing to do. Capacity, you've just got, it's just a whole lot better. You don't have to worry about tubes, And for those of y'all that remember playing through tube amps, that they would have, when one tube goes bad, you have to replace all the tubes. Pain in the hemorrhoids. Okay? Even now, you can have 10-inch or even 8-inch powered speakers on the poles, and they'll kick royal booty. So there you go. Now, when buying speakers, the biggest thing that we want to look for is called the dB rating. That if you have like a speaker that says 96 decibels, it's only going to get to that loudness, and then it's going to, be distorted really bad, and it's going to sound like garbage. Okay, but if you have like 130 decibel, that's going to be much better. Carvin, whatever, y'all, Carvins, PV. I actually like PV amps. And now they're even doing away with the magnets in the speakers, because we really no longer need them. Especially the Monster X6 powered speakers that I have, 400 watts. Those things kick royal booty. 600 watts, I'm sorry, it's 600 watts. Is that the actual rating? That's RMS rating for those speakers. Okay. And these being powered speakers, this is one thing I like about the Bluetooth market, these speakers, is they run on their own power supply. They got their own built-in amps to them, so you don't have to worry about ohms or any of that stuff anymore, because they're powered. Okay. And when you're going to gigs, make sure that you have those speakers up about at least 7 feet tall. That way people don't walk in front of them and disrupt your sound. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. All I wanted to talk to you all about. But you do not need big 15-inch speakers unless you want to. It's just. But like for me, when I do gigs and and go perform, I'll use those speakers, and I've used one for years and never had a problem with it. It always works great. Just if you know what you're doing and you take care of your stuff and you set everything, you're going to get many years of use out of your your sound system stuff. Powered mixers or regular mixers. It's whatever y'all want to. If y'all want a big 14-channel powered mixer, I love them. Make sure that you got a snake. And monitors, where you connect your monitors, and so you can hear. It's just, there's so much that goes into the into setting up, having the speakers and all that stuff set up. Then you have to worry about, how much frequency. Then we're getting into you know, getting into frequencies and what's the hertz, you know, is that 5K or whatever, but so um but anyway, so but this right here, I just wanted to talk to you all about this and what to look for when buying speakers, sound systems, you know, guitar amps and all that stuff. But anyway, there y'all go. So your old buddy Gerald here. If y'all have any comments or whatever, make sure to let me know, and I'll catch y'all on down the road. Make sure to follow me here for more, and I'll catch y'all on down the road. I can't wait to show you the new guitar that I got. So y'all be groovy. There you go.